Hiya, and welcome back to Distant Travels. I'm trying to thought for a minute there. Hmm. The game that teaches us that. Nah, I shouldn't make a joke about that. Even then, it really isn't a joke, just a statement. Anyways, let's just hop right in. We did not get an actual answer on the Twitter poll. Like, no one gave an answer. No one voted, so we're just gonna go with Charles. You decide to go see if Charles is around. As you start looking around, you notice him on his way out of the building. You catch up to him. On your way to talk to our sky-gazing commander? I was about to go chat with him if you would let me make you company. He looks as if asking your permission. I should be the one asking if I can make you company. I was wondering if you'd like to talk a little. He smiles at you. Gentleman first. He holds the door for you and exits the building behind you. Was there anything special you wanted to talk about? Straight to the point. Feels a little awkward, but if anything, it's been working for you to just roll with it in the past few days. To be honest, I was just thinking I'd like to get to know you a little better. I'm glad. You make for good company, Alex. Charles looks around for a bit. Let's start looking by the lake. If I know Mike well enough, he's probably sitting somewhere by the water looking at the sky. I have a small errand with him, then we can talk. Charles seems close to the commander. Now would be a good time to ask about them. How did the two of you end up knowing each other? He contemplates things for a bit as you walk. Have you heard about the War of Aggression? The War of Aggression? The commander mentioned a war earlier, but he didn't seem eager to talk about it. Charles sighs. I apologize, Alex. I forget that this is a different world sometimes. The War of Aggression was what one could compare to a world war. A few years back, Arctos was entering a new age of space travel. Of course, we wanted to explore the universe now that we had the option. His voice carries a hint of sorrow, not too unlike the first time he told you about the Endless White. We ended up finding out that we are most definitely not alone in the universe. And in the end, our government caused what is now called the War of Aggression. The aggression coming from Arctos. You found other life and then attacked it? You can hear the disbelief in your own voice. Not us, per se, what used to be a kind of world government for Arctos did. You look up and notice the commander sitting at a bench near the lake. The shame and blame still belongs to us, all the same. Our world was the one wanting to take what did not belong to us. During that war, I ended up in Mike's squad. To be honest, I hated him at first. None of his orders seemed to make sense, and I was all too aggressive. Eventually, I understood what kept us alive, and what kept us winning. As he says that, you notice him pat his shirt pocket as if he's making sure there's something there. Ugh. There's a lot I don't know by the sound of it. You arrive at your destination as you finish your train of thought. But that probably won't change anything. Our mission is different, right? We're saving, not attacking. And without asking, I'm sure there's a million things I don't know about that would explain things. You see the commander raise an eyebrow. He must have just caught the end of the conversation. Sharp. It's a conversation for later. Aside from that, you might find the history quite interesting. The past should not be forgotten, lest we repeat our mistakes. A price paid in sadness should not be paid twice. And so we remember our mistakes and bring them with us into the future. Poetry at this hour, Mike? Mike puts his hand up and scratches the back of his head. The night sky brings out solemn feelings. He nods at you. Did you enjoy the day, Alex? You can tell that the commander is a little tipsy. To be honest, you are as well. I've had a lot of fun, designed to create a memory, right? He smiles. You're always one step ahead. Did you tell him why we want to create a memory here, Charles? I didn't tell him all of it, but it looks like I'll get the chance in a minute. I'll leave you two alone then. The commander starts getting up from the bench he's sitting on. No need, Mike. I just came out here to give you this. He reaches for his breast pocket and pulls out a flat bottle. He then hands it to the commander. Fire wine? It's the last bottle, and I can't think of a proper time to give you it. I don't expect you to drink it, but I figured you'd appreciate the symbolism. He takes the bottle. You're usually not this nostalgic. Thank you, my friend. Anytime, Mike. We'll leave you to it. The two of you bid the commander a goodbye and make your way back towards the inn. You must be getting a little tipsy, or maybe it's the calm feeling of the night chill, but you can't help but mention it. He seems a little sad. We're all a little sad in reality. Mike just doesn't always hide it as well as the rest of us. He looks up at the sky and stops walking. Would you like to walk with me, Alex? I'll tell you of my sorrows and you can tell me of yours. Tonight is a night of reflection, after all. And in thinking of friends... He's blushing. Hang on. Put this on. Let me see if I can find the image. That is not it. Where is it at? Is this it? That is not it. There we go. I put the hat back on. And thinking of friends, time is but a string upon which we mark our memories. They become part of our past, and as the string grows longer and the marks fade, it becomes a smaller part of the string, and soon we may forget. So remember to good times, and let the bad ones fade. That's my twist on the quote I told you about during lunch. It's a good night to remember, as we've all made a lot of new memories. Charles is quite the romantic when you get to know him. They're all romantic. That's a romantic view. I don't think most people would call me romantic. But he looks as if he's hesitating for a bit. Then his eyes catches yours, and he continues. I think you bring it out in me. Damn it with the blushing. I saw somewhere... Hang on. Here it is. I found it. This is what immediately came to mind. And I think it's true in some cases. Let me show it real quick. Your persona can't blush because their face is covered in fur. Furries. That's the truth, though. I feel like it's the truth, and it's fucking hilarious. I think you bring it out in me. I didn't expect that. But I like it. I'm a sucker for romance and philosophy. Charles lets out a soft chuckle at that. Then let us indulge the evening in romantic quotes and philosophy. Must be the night. I haven't felt this comfortable to share things in a long time. It feels odd. Good, but odd. To be honest, I'm not used to being this open about things, but I can't say I dislike it. This week really brings it out in me. The feeling that we're going away, paired with the nostalgia of having a proper home, even just for a while. He goes silent for a second. If you asked any of the others, I doubt they'd call me romantic or sentimental. But like I mentioned, for some reason, you bring it out in me. You walk for a bit, starting to make your way around the lake. I've thought a little about the possibility of souls or feelings being entangled. I like it, but there's a dark side to it, isn't there? What if the entanglement just brings you further away from whoever you're entangled with? Because that's how you influence each other. I wonder, do you think souls exist in a Euclidean world? Oh, hi! Hi, welcome to the stream. You can't deny the truth. You're stumped for a moment before he continues. Euclidean geometry, or geometry how we know it. So I'll check you about that. Like non-Euclidean worlds. I think it was by Code Parade. Yeah, Code Parade. In mathematics and physics, that's just how the world looks. He's motioning with his hands as he's explaining it to you. It says the shortest distance between 2 points is always a straight line. Perhaps the easier way, if there is one, to understand it would be explaining what a Euclidean universe is. It's a universe where the shortest distance between 2 points would not be a straight line. It could, for example, be curved. This is what happens in a black hole. He catches himself going on a tangent, and seems to stop for a second thinking about how to explain the next part. Yo, is there like something running in the background? Let me like pull up Task Manager real quick, because my computer is angry at me right now. Is there like a huge as fuck program running in the background? I don't have a very strong CPU. Oh god, I'm using 100%. Okay, let's see some of these intense background processes that we can cut out. Yeah, I think I can like stop. I don't even use Discord. Yeah, I don't even use Discord. Probably should, but I don't. Sorry, I'm like trying to like speed up the stream by running Task Manager. God, Steam. Yeah, I'm trying to like save some resources on here. I don't know, my CPU's probably going to die soon. He catches himself going on a tangent and seems to stop for a second thinking about how to explain the next part. Going back to Euclidean logic, the one that we're used to, a straight line can be lengthened indefinitely. He sighs. I'm not good at explaining this, am I? The idea is that, since the shortest distance is always a straight line, regardless of what happens, the trajectory cannot bend. The path we take is always a straight line, as long as we're heading towards the finish. He looks dejected for a little bit. So if our souls, yours and mine, were entangled in a Euclidean space, we would still be two straight lines making our way towards the finish line. We would either constantly move away from each other, or we would be two parallel lines, never able to meet. Or at least our paths would cross once before we continue into infinity. It's a difficult concept, to be honest. I'm not sure I understand it fully, but I think I do. Sorry. With that said, in terms of romanticism, fuck Euclidean space. Such strong language, oh my god. If we're entangled, let's just jump into a black hole and bend the lines. Who knew jumping into a black hole could be romantic? He laughs. I got a little carried away. It's interesting what the brain can do. In terms of being romantic? Precisely. I think it depends. At least my brain kind of sucks most of the time. He raises an eyebrow. There's always some kind of struggle. Low confidence, as if I constantly think I said something stupid. Other anxieties. Or just plain worry that whatever I do, I'll always end up being wrong. It'll always end up being wrong. Most of the time, once I get comfortable, I just want to run. It feels like I fake it until I make it, and then I'm stuck with the fake. He ponders what you said for a minute. I think that depends on how you look for answers. That's what drives most of us in the end. Do you look for answers within? If so, the only thing you have for reference is yourself. So the perspective is skewed. Looking for answers, huh? So you're saying we always have to ask for a second opinion. Something like that. When thinking about life like that, I like comparing it to physics or mathematics, such as entanglement. What about superposition? If you ever feel like your actions are influenced by others, that's what it is, isn't it? The more outlying factors influence you, or in this case, people around you, the more influenced your actions become. So surround yourself with people you like, and people who treat you well. That's a good thought. That also includes yourself, doesn't it? If the people's actions influence me, mine also influence others. That's why you should be your best. Be kind, be happy, be the things you want to spread. You're a good person, Charles. So are you. If entanglement between people is real, I'd be happy to be entangled with you, Alex. You feel yourself blushing. The two of you walk in silence for a little bit. A thought crosses your mind. If entanglement and superposition of feelings influence us, it's pretty similar to what one would call a collective consciousness or the myth of Gaia. If we all influence each other, doesn't it all have to add up somewhere? As in, if everyone wants something, it eventually happens. Collective consciousness principle. Oh, you're more scientific than you think. It's a common idea among the religious or among psychiatrists. I think there's some relevance to it. In the end, we all just influence each other. The only thing we can try to do is surround ourselves with people we like and be aware of it. Be your best and grab onto the emotions you like. In the end, we all just agree on a set of emotions and what causes them, then we run with it. You just happen to bring out good emotions when it comes to me. You blush once again. Might as well be blunt here. I like you too, Charles. I can't wait to get to know you better. And there will be plenty of time for that soon enough. He stops for a second. It feels a little awkward to ask, but I can't help it. It would be nice if you would let me teach you more things when we're on the Firefly. There's a lot of tech and history that you should know about. Even if only to make sure you know what you've gotten into. That sounds like a lot of fun, Charles. He seems happy at that. You notice that while you've been walking, Charles has led you on a path that's about to bring you back to the inn. It's getting cold. Want to step inside? In a second. Remember what I said about creating a memory? Today was about that. Tomorrow, if you wish, we can store the memory, kind of like a movie or a picture album. Store the memory? It's a bit of tech from Arctos. We can store it and revisit it at any point. You can even share it with someone if you'd like. You've had fun today, and you've learned a lot. There's no real reason for hesitation, is there? I'd like that. I'm glad. And Alex, thanks for putting up with all my ramblings about science and feelings. I like it. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with me. Neither of you say anything as you make your way back to the inn. This evening was not what I had expected, but it was definitely not bad. We can just skip all this because we already read it. God damn it. This segment for Charles's route is currently not updated, as I felt it was not good enough to be included just yet. Who would you like to spend more... Well, there's only one option left. No, fuck. You decide to go see if Nick wants to talk a little. You find him sitting at the bar. He seems lost in thought. Hey Nick, how are you doing? He raises his head and looks at you. Hi Alex, lost in thought for a little bit. How's the evening treating you? This is weird. Nick is usually warmer. I'm having fun. Is everything alright? I'm alright, but there's a lot of stuff on my mind. You know how today was supposed to create a memory? Right. After that, do you still want to go? I do. Nick smiles. Kind of made me realize something. The only reason I wanted to go was to get closer to you. Kind of fucked up, to be honest. Thinking about it, they don't really need me, do they? I don't think that's true. They wanted you, right? They asked you directly. They do, but really only one of us is needed. You should go, and I... His voice breaks for a second. You put your arm on his shoulder to reassure him. This is unlike him. You alright? Yeah. Remember when you told me that you feel like you don't fit in the mold? It was that one time, at Nick's house, right after you had broken up with your ex. Well, neither do I. I just fake it and pretend to fit in, and in this case, I might have met my match. With the Firefly crew? They're kind and I like them, but I don't fit in. I think I finally get what you meant. I know it's not the same context, and nobody dislikes me for who I am, but I can relate a little to not fitting in, and even if I go, I don't want it to be just because I want to get closer to you. Then don't go because of me. You know, running away from something that doesn't feel right isn't always a bad thing. At some point, you have to take care of yourself and be who you want to be, not who you think you are. If I wasn't here, would you want to go? If you think about it, what do you actually want now that the cards are on the table? If I were to go and you stay here, I'll be back eventually, right? So, think about what's good for you here. I don't think you should calculate your plans based on the possibility of me being there or not. What do you want to do? What would you do if I wasn't in the picture? I doubt either of us will ever get a chance like this again, Nick. Thanks, Alex. I feel better now. I'm going to go for a short walk and think about things. And for the record, you're better than you think you are, especially in moments like these. Nick steps out the door and leaves you to continue the evening on your own. God fucking damn it. Okay. Let me go back to the menu because... Actually, let me see if I have like a save point. I do not. So we get to go back to the main menu and start from the beginning to possibly add another option. Okay, we're going to use the quick start. And just go from there. Get some bacon. Tea. We're just going to go through this as fast as possible. Buffet. I love you, Julia. Everyone loves Julia. Let's encourage Ed to apply. I think you should apply, Ed. You might not be the tech whiz you think you need to be, but you're the hardest working person out of everyone here. You really do mean it. Ed has been a pillar of support for those days when the workload was overbearing. I'll think about it. Thank you for the encouragement. To also encourage Nick to apply. I'm considering it, but most likely not. I've been thinking about going back to school for a while now. And in reality, I don't really think this line of work suits me. You can't say that you're not great at customer service. I just don't have the technical know-how. That's something you can learn. Personality is core here. I'll think about it. What happens if we don't apply? Since we're doing what if, hang on, let me save here real quick. Okay, which one should we do? Because we're doing we're going to see if we can add Ed to the roster. So we might as well see what happens here. Just go ahead and apply so we can get through it as quickly as humanly possible. Aw. Okay, then let's go back. Because it's all just the same here. It's too sketchy. Besides, there are definitely better people for the job. I never even finished my certifications last year. You send Julia a text message letting her know. A few seconds later, you receive a text message from Julia. Oh, thanks for letting me know. Don't worry. I'll make sure Team Jules Rules wins either way. The unending enthusiasm is often refreshing, but sometimes it gets a little old. Well, that's done. You start some music on your phone and the rest of the day continues like any other. There's no mention of the job excitement that there was yesterday. You wonder if everyone just kind of forgot about it, or if nobody applied at all. Maybe I'll ask Julia about it later. In the end, neither you nor your colleagues applied for the job. Sometimes chances pass by and life continues. Bombs are made and broken without anyone on the outside noticing. Life continues and other chances will eventually arise. This time was not yours. But don't worry. Everyone gets another chance, eventually. Life gives us plenty of opportunities. There are as many possibilities as there are stars roaming the night skies. You just have to keep your eyes open and your hopes up. This would be the end of the story, but I'd prefer to tell you the entire story, so let us go back. Yeah, that's about it. Let me see if there's any memories here for Charles. Nope. And having shorter and shorter streams. Well, this is tough. I'm gonna create another Twitter poll. Yeah. There isn't, like, a whole lot of content in this game right now. So I think what I'm going to do is, like, whenever updates come out, when they start happening eventually, I'll, like, jump into the game, like, I'll read the patch notes, see what's been added, and go through that, and then just leave it from there. This will be, like a work in progress, I think. So let me create the Twitter poll real quick. Multiple games. There's a couple options on here. Finished. I'm going at a couple options here. Curricular activities. Far beyond the word. Think Cilio. And what was the other one? I think it was called After Class. Yeah, I think it was. Let me check. After Class. Itch.io. Yeah. I knew it. Is this one finished? Okay. Yeah, I'll add that. And I will give them a day and I'll give you all a day and a half to vote. And there we go. I feel like there isn't a whole lot left here, so if you want to decide which one we play next, head over to my Twitter and vote. Can't think of anything else to say, so stay safe, have a good night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.